Alrighty, so I am back. Alright, went on a bit of a hiatus. We're back on the saddle, okay? And there's a lot of things to discuss, a lot of content to be made. Yeah, I have gone through the liberty of watching the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And I want to talk about it because I have a passion for this shit, and that's what my channel's based off of. I do anything I'm passionate about. Stay tuned for some UFC content. Stay tuned for some fucking Destiny videos, probably discussing the situation going on there. Stay tuned for some more Star Wars content, okay? Because I'm just passionate about this shit. Um, and that's just how I like to keep it on the channel. But now that I'm back, I have watched the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I want to go through my review of the movie. This isn't going to be crazy long. At least I'm hoping it's not crazy long like some of my review videos. But yeah, I've gone through the Liberty last year. I went through and I watched all of the Star Wars projects. I gave my rating and ranking on them. If you want to see them on the channel, okay, check it out. But I'm a little bit of a Mandalorian hater. Okay, so spoiler-free review. I'll say this, right? As someone who kind of liked season 3 of Mandalorian and didn't mind season 1 and 2, even though I'm more of a fan of season 3. No, it's not because of Lizzo. I just like the Mandalorian stuff. Even though like Mandalorian is kind of like a bumbling idiot in season 3, I thought everything else was fine. Season 2 I wasn't a big fan of. I'm not a Luke simp. It is what it is. Season 1 was good, very boring, like in the midway section, but the start and finish were pretty okay. The movie, in my opinion, spoiler free, I'll give you my spoiler warning once I get into the spoiler free. I think this movie's worth watching. I think when it comes to Disney Plus, it's probably worth watching, especially if you already have a subscription. um do I think it's the best Star Wars movie? No. Is it better than some of the lesser succeeded projects or the lesser loved projects like Solo, I guess? I know a lot of people have been coming out of the woodwork saying Solo's like not that bad. I didn't mind Solo personally. I'd say the Mandalorian movie's better than Solo. And I want to say this, the first half of the movie is really good. It's like a 9 out of 10 in my opinion. The second half of the movie drags on and it's kind of like a different type of movie. But it keeps the same theme, if that makes sense. Like it's not that there's bad moments, it's not that it's shit writing. It's kind of just like the problem is that nothing progresses with this movie, right? You can watch anything of Star Wars and not have to see this. Where the core 6 films you kind of have to see. Force Awakens will pretend that just doesn't exist. Same with that whole other Rise of Skywalker and fucking what was it, Last Jedi. Like we can just pretend those don't exist. But when it comes to like the other movies, Solo, I guess, is kind of like that, where you don't need to watch it to understand Han Solo's story, but it kind of gives that context for Solo, and shows a little bit more of the world during that sort of era of Star Wars, like before the whole Luke Skywalker's the chosen one that's gonna fight Vader, and then Vader's actually the chosen one the whole time. Spoilers, I guess, but yeah. The movie's good though. The movie's good. I think it's worth watching. I think I struggle to see anyone who's interested in Star Wars at all go into the theaters, watch this movie, and leave and be like, "Wow, that was dog shit." It's the biggest piece of dog shit. Okay, as Dwayne the Rock Johnson would say. But I don't see that happening. Like I don't know how you can hate the movie. I do think it's visually pretty good. Some of the like out of context clips that I've seen floated around, like with the caption of "bruh, this movie sucks" or whatever, and it's like the clip of like the guy being like, "He's under us." He's talking to a screen. He's telling the other AT-ATs, "Is it dumb what happens in that scene?" Sure, but it's not like it's the worst written thing of all time. Believe me, I played some pretty bad games with some pretty bad dialogue. Um, if I have time, I'll edit it in. But
Everyone all right?
Aye, pero how did you like phase lock the entire moon? Wow.
I've also fucking watched movies like the Borderlands movie that was really, really bad. If you don't know, don't watch it. Please don't ever watch the Borderlands movie. You'll lose brain cells, okay? But yeah, the movie's good. I don't know how you can watch the movie and be like, wow, this is trash. Wow, what the fuck is Star Wars doing? The only problem with the movie is that it doesn't progress anything. It is just it's a fun movie to watch with the boys. It's a fun movie to watch by yourself, kind of like the Solo movie. But the Solo movie at least has a little bit more context on characters that don't have a lot of light. We see Mando a lot. We see Grogu a lot. With the seasons of everything, but yeah, I don't mind it. I really, really don't mind it. I personally gave the movie a 7.5. I could move to an 8 out of 10. I don't. I'm not like that hard, like stone cold on that 7.5 out of 10. I would personally be moved to the 8 out of 10, maybe on a rewatch or something. But the more I think about the movie, the more I liked it. The characters you get in it, you'll like. I struggle to like, yeah, I don't know, I see a lot of people saying they don't like the movie because it's like slop or something, but like there's just not really any great reasonings. Maybe like, yeah, I don't know, I really enjoyed the movie. I like, to be fair, again, I'm not a big Mando and Grogu guy, so I came in with pretty low expectations, so that might have something to do with it. And for me personally, I think this movie is the best Mandalorian and Grogu project, aka it's better than the shit that happens in Book of Boba Fett. That's obvious. It's better than what was the other cameo? He had another cameo in something. He showed up and then dipped. Or am I? No, I think I'm thinking of Ahsoka being in Mandalorian and Grogu, but I digress. Regardless, I do think it's the best Mando and Grogu project. I enjoyed it more than the 3 seasons of Mandalorian and Grogu personally. Maybe that's because it's condensed down and I'm not watching 8 hours of something per season, which is a little tough to like get people into. Um, is this more for like a casual family audience? Yes, it's not really that serious tone. If you're familiar with who's on my screen right now, that is probably the second most serious show that's come out of Star Wars. I would say, or project, I should say. I'd say the most serious was probably, you could argue Clone Wars, I guess, because there's a lot of death in that, but you could say, like, Andor is probably the most serious. Maul, Shadow Lord, which is who's on my screen right now, favorite Star Wars character of all time. He was also a serious show. This is not that. This, it'll have like emotional moments, and it tries to have like a good sort of contrast between characters and some character development. I saw a lot of people saying Grogu didn't have a lot of character development. For me personally, from what I remember of the show, from watching it last year, I thought Grogu was way better in the show than he was in pretty much anything in Mandalorian and Grogu. That's just me personally. But yeah, that's my spoiler-free review there. Going into spoilers now, okay? So if you haven't watched it, I'd recommend you watch it. I think it's 7 out of 10 at bare minimum. I struggle to see why people don't like this. But regardless, moving into the spoiler territory, Rada the Hutt is goated in this movie. Okay, I've never been so happy to see my boy. Listen, I remember being in the back of my grandparents' car when I was a little young lad, watching the Clone Wars movie over and over and over again. Okay, so Rada the Hutt, this shit means something to me, man. And just to see my boy grow up and be such a fucking yoke to Giga Chad, every time Rada the Hutt was on screen, it was a 9 out of 10 scene. It just was. When he was talking with Grogu, when he was feeding Grogu, when he was fucking up the other Hutts, when he was in the gladiator pit, all of that, it was literally 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 moments, you know? But with Rada the Hutt being there, and he's sort of like the main character, if you will, even though it doesn't really get discussed. The whole plot is basically Rada the Hutt is captured by someone, and the twins, which you see in Book of Boba Fett, I don't blame you for not watching. That show's ass. I watched it. Don't ever watch it. But for the twins, they are the remaining Hutts. They're leading the Hutts now, and the Hutts have like ruled for like hundreds of thousands of years or whatever. So they need control. But Rada the Hutt is sort of the main one in line because of bloodline, because he's Rada the Hutt is Jabba the Hutt's son. So the twins need to break out Rada the Hutt to confirm that he's dead, so that they can sort of take on the mantle, right? That's sort of the whole plot line. And then there's little stuff with the New Republic basically working with the Hutts so that they can get information. Very similar to like what happens in the Clone Wars. A lot of the time, the Republic would help out, or the Jedi would do stuff for the Hutts that would then result in them getting something out of it. So it's kind of like a help the lesser evil sort of thing because they both don't like the Empire. The Hutts were planning, the twins, I should say, were planning on profiting on both sides, and they kind of did. There were some cool moments between the Hutts interacting and them speaking English. I don't mind that personally. I know why people are offset because in Star Wars, you kind of don't have anyone speaking other than maybe Zero, I guess, as a Hutt. That's like the only Hutt that speaks English. I think all of them speak Huttese, but I think they made them speak English for like a general audience to sort of get people to understand. It's also kind of annoying just having a protocol droid everywhere all the time in every scene, mandatory. That would kind of be annoying. It's not like undoable or whatever, but yeah. So I like that. The Hutts, great. I thought they were fantastic. I thought the interaction he had with Mando, again, spoilers, so go watch the movie. When Pedro Pascal takes off his helmet, now, people don't like Pedro Pascal. I don't care. I'm not an actor, hater, or whatever. I have Dwayne Johnson fatigue, but other than that, I just don't really care. I don't think Pedro Pascal's face matches Mando. And that maybe I'm racist, okay? But that's just how I see it. All right? I don't think it matches Mando. I don't think it matches his vibe. His voice matches Mando, which is weird. And when he's talking without the helmet, it almost sounds like a voiceover. Like it doesn't even sound like Pedro Pascal. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I haven't watched The Last of Us. I haven't watched Fantastic Four, which is the only Marvel movie I haven't watched. Stay tuned for content on that, by the way. I've rewatched the whole, or I've watched the whole Marvel timeline now. I'm gonna be popping out some fucking reviews of that shit eventually. But regardless, I thought he was good though. Like for what it is, sometimes you gotta take it for what it is. And like even though it doesn't really work well with Pedro being Mando in terms of the face, because it doesn't really match the vibe, it still works pretty well. Like he was threatening, and then it's like, okay, buddy, yeah, talk your shit, yeah. Oh, you're gonna kill them. Ha! You're getting dropped into a fucking Sarlacc pit, but this time you're fight or not a Sarlacc pit. What are they called? A Rancor pit. And you're gonna fight a fucking giant serpent dragon, you know? Like, good luck, buddy, alright? And then he actually gets out, and he actually shoots the Hutts, and he actually has a sick line where it's like, oh, you see my face, now I have to kill you. That was sick, you know? There was moments where I was like, yo, this, okay, they kind of cooked with this, I'm not gonna lie, alright? The designs for everything were sick. Embo, holy aura, alright? One of the longest fucking lived bounty hunters, I think, at this point in the galaxy, right? Because this is after Boba Fett dies. Doesn't really do much after he awakens from the Sarlacc pit. I think even at the end of Boba Fett, he retired as a bounty hunter. Fennec Shand, nobody gives a fuck. But like you have Bosk maybe, but Cad Bane's gone. So I think with Cad Bane being gone, dude, like Embo could be that replacement. He's got the hat. He was sick when he fucking ran up the house and he scared Mando. And he blocked his shots and he had a one-on-one. I don't agree that he lost the 1v, like should have lost the 1v1 with Mando hand to hand. But I think it's fine because everything he did in the whole show was fucking sick as fuck. He didn't talk that much. I think he literally like said a few things to his dog, like a chuta or whatever the fuck they say. But yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was sick. Mando was actually good in the movie. And that's something I can't say the same for the show. Dude, there's a lot of moments where Mando has no aura in the show. And he's a bumbling idiot. Season 1 is a little different. The beginning was good. The ending was okay. I, like, when Mando made decisions in season 1, it felt dumb. Like, his whole fight against the fucking rebellion on that, or the raiders on the fucking grass planet, I don't remember the name. But when they were hiding away, everything in that felt like dumb. He was pretty dumb against the Mudhorn. Like, there's a lot of, like, dumb moments with Mando. And in the later editions, he just gets dumber and dumber. Like, season 2, Grogu's got, like, this force field, and fucking Mando runs into the force field, gets reflected off. Oh, he gets back up, and he tries it again, and he gets reflected off. Oh, and he tries it a third time. Third time's a charm. No, he gets reflected off. It is one of the dumbest moments I think I've seen in Star. There's some dumb moments. So I won't say it's the dumbest moment in Star Wars, but it's up there. It's definitely up there. And then season 3, he kind of is just a bumbling idiot that's there for jokes and everything. But I'm not really too concerned with that. When he jumps into the water, nearly drowns because he's an idiot. But yeah, whatever. In this movie, he's smart. He has great action scenes. He knows what the fuck he's doing. He has a purpose. He has a moral compass, and it's very clear with everything. Love that. I thought that was great. Um, yeah, I thought the Mando and Grogu mix was great. I thought it was fantastic, personally. Uh, what else was there? Zeb was in it. Zeb was kind of like a cameo character. Didn't really do much. He's kind of like the Boba Fett in Empire, but on the other side, if that makes sense. You know, like he's there. He says some lines. He helps out the homie. That's about it. Could he have done more? Maybe. Did they not want to put him in the spotlight to like sort of really rely on nostalgia bait? I think so, maybe, because Zeb's really just a Rebel fan thing, and Rebel's one of those shows that's not really. It's not one of the goats, if that makes sense. Some people have it on their goat list as like better than Clone Wars or whatever, or like Clone Wars tier. I think a large majority of fans enjoy other things rather than Rebels. So I don't think they just wanted to appeal to the Rebels fans with just that one cameo, but it's cool to see. I'm not like mad about it. We got them in Lego again, so I'm gonna have to cop that. Yes, I did recently just cop the Jabba Sail Barge UCS set. Making big money moves. All right, but yeah. So yeah, I thought all the characters were good. There wasn't the Enzalians were kinda. The movie was very much like, okay, this is for Star Wars fans. Okay, this is for the casual audience. Okay, this is for the kids watching the show. Okay, now we're back for the Star Wars fans. It was very much like what they're trying to present to, or who they're trying to present to during the film, right? The intro part that was for the casual, or maybe not casuals, but I guess like the newer fans and the like hardcore Star Wars fan, or I guess just newer fans, we'll say, because it's kind of just like an action sequence with Empire people that aren't really smart, like remnant Empire people that aren't really that smart. That's for like the casual fans, and then okay, we're moving into Rada the Hutt stuff. Okay, that's for the hardcore Star Wars fans who know who Rada is, even though he's like a gulp shitto. um, but yeah, so we move into the Rada the Hutt stuff. That's very much like the hardcore fan base. Okay, now we're moving into the Grogu stuff with the Enzelians, hey baby, whatever. Those are definitely for the kids. That whole Grogu sequence. There's a little bit of sprinkled of like hardcore Star Wars stuff, like when Grogu grabbed the stick and was showing a Yoda reference there, making the hut on a jungle type atmosphere, swamp atmosphere. That's very on the nose with Yoda, but yeah, I thought it was great personally. Um, I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't think it's better than Force Awakens, and I watched Force Awakens for my first time last year. I thought that movie was shit. I don't know why people still defend that movie. You can like what you like. I'm not here to tell you what you can and I can't like dislike, but yes, I would put this movie personally better than the episode 7, 8, 9. I'd put this better than Solo. I'd put this better than Rogue One, to be honest with you. Literally, the only reason why it's a 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10, is mainly because the stakes just aren't there. Like, Mando could have died in the movie, but he didn't, so there's no real big stakes. Did the story sort of progress between Mando and Grogu? Kind of. Did the story progress with the New Republic and Rada the Hutt? Yeah. So the gangs are probably going to be working with the New Republic a little bit more, and that's going to lead into probably Starfighter or whatever future projects. But this felt like a setup movie. This is like, it's very weird, the Star Wars timeline, because of how fast they sort of speed ran everything. Like they speed ran 100 years of Star Wars within fucking what, like 10 years of real life. They went from the prequels to the sequels, and that like time jump is a large gap in the galaxy, where a lot of things need to make sense. like the First Order coming to power still has no reason in any media aside from maybe a Legends comic or some shit that I haven't read. But yeah, I think it's gonna be really hard for the timeline, but this is kind of it's like a Black Widow movie, if that makes sense. Now, me personally, I hated the Black Widow movie. I thought that's the worst MCU movie. Um, but it's kind of like that, where events already happened. This movie has come out after these events, and it's kind of like set up for failure because it's kind of just there to build up characters that we know eventually don't do anything. You know, like we know Black Widow ends up, spoiler I guess for the MCU, we know Black Widow ends up dying, right? So it's kind of just like, why the fuck did we need a new movie? Now there's Yelena and a few others that were in the Thunderbolts, right? So that's why it existed there, and that's kind of what this movie is. Grogu's there, Rada the Hutt's there. They're gonna live hundreds of years, so they can be in the New Republic era. They can be after Rise of Skywalker. They can be forever, pretty much, right? That's their new golden goose in terms of like who's for sure gonna be able to live past what we've already seen, right? So that's kind of it's in a really bad spot. But if you take that away and you just look at this as a movie, like when I have kids, which I'm planning on having, I'm for sure having them watch the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. It's a great fucking movie. Terrible name, okay? You could have said the New Republic versus the remnants of the Empire or some shit. You could have had fucking uh the Galactic Bounty Hunter. I don't know. Fucking come up with a better name than Mando and Grogu movie. That's just a lame movie. But yeah, I don't think the movie's gonna do that well. I saw the projected shit. I've seen like how much money. I think the movie is gonna make money. I don't think it's gonna make a lot of money. Is the Maul Shadow Lord still the best Star Wars project? Probably. Will I do a review of that show eventually? Yes, that is the plan. But yeah, that's been my review. Overall, 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10 for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I loved it. I think it's a great movie. Um yeah, I really struggle to see why people hate on this movie. And most of the reasoning, you could say like fan service or whatever. Dude, it's Star Wars. That is what the fucking movies are, you know? Like, are you gonna say young Anakin's fan service in the prequels because the OT has fucking Anakin Skywalker at the end? Or is Vader? Spoiler. But like, dude, like, come on. It's Star Wars. They're gonna have characters you've seen before. That's what it does, you know? That's kind of the whole thing. But, yeah, that's just me personally. I don't have many gripes with the big. I guess like my final like thing. The good was the characters are great, visuals are great, story's pretty good. Um, Fights were great. Um, and this movie will probably get better over like maybe not get better, but this movie I don't think gets worse over time. Like no matter what they do, I think this movie is going to be a good movie. You know, 5-10 years down the road, this will still be looked on as like a good movie. um and then the bad, the pacing's pretty off. The vibe will sometimes shift dramatically. To like the, oh, okay, this is for hardcore fans. Oh, okay, so now we're for the kids section, you know, and it's like that for like 15-20 minutes, and then we're back to the normal stuff, right? And then there was two things I didn't really like nitpicks, okay? Don't like the explanation why the hauler, the ship that Savage and Maul use, is just randomly in the swamp. Like, I know it carried Rada and it was corrupted, and so they probably brought it there. Why the fuck is it just laying in the swamp, and why is it so fucked, even though it's only been like a day or two since it's been there? A little weird. Kind of like a weird plot point. Not really explained well. Maybe they didn't have time. Whatever the case may be. I thought it was weird. And then Rada the Hutt, when he's fighting Mando, when he grabs the axe from Rada the Hutt and he uses it against him, he's picking up like a prop, and it really feels like he's picking up a prop. Because that shit should be fucking heavy, okay? Mando should not just be fucking, you know, he shouldn't be doing fucking dumbbell flies very easily with that fucking axe. That axe looks like it weighs more than fucking Mando himself, alright? Him surviving the body slam is also weird. I get it, it's Beskar armor. That doesn't mean you don't get crushed by a fucking 5,000-pound slug, alright? But yeah, that's my good and bad. That's the final of my review here. If you made it to the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I hope you have a good day.